Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Communicate with Nate. Great to have you guys back as usual. Today I wanted to talk to you about the subject of dialect versus standard. What is the difference between a dialect of a language and a standard language? Well, first of all, we have to ask ourselves, what is a standard language? Like when we talk about standard American English, what do we mean? And is there only one standard American English? We're going to answer that question. The answer is, there is not really. Well, I'm not going to tell you yet. Just wait. What are some of the features of standard American English versus the dialect? First of all, we have to look at standard American English as a regional and pluricentric is actually what we call it, a pluricentric dialect, meaning that what we can call standard American English, depending on the region, can still be influenced by the local dialect of that region. So, for example, there's definitely a divide between East Coast and West Coast in the media, and they both can be considered standard accent. However, they do have differences, such as in the East, in the Northeast especially, there's a distinction between caught and cot, C-O-T, and so C-A-U-G-H-T, caught, and cot, C-O-T, okay? Now in the West, where I'm from, we say cot and cot, just like C-O-T. It sounds the same. So that's one distinction. And you'll hear both of those, in Los Angeles, a news presenter will definitely merge those two, cot and cot. Whereas in New York City, you're going to hear that distinct accent, okay? As well as Boston, and other areas. There are differences in word choice, such as the Northeast, New York City, for example, loves to use the word sneakers. Where I'm from, in Utah, where I'm from, we called them, as a kid, tennis shoes. And then we also called them, or you could say gym shoes. That was what I called them. What did you call them? Tell me in the comments below. What do you call them now? But other than that, to be honest, nowadays, most bigger cities have speakers of more or less standard American English, which is basically how I'm speaking right now. Now, if we're talking with people that from our region who have a stronger accent, then our accent will also come out with it as well. So, for example, in Utah, the dialect sounds something like this, of the older generation at least, especially. Well, I never saw him. I went over there on Thursday and there wasn't anybody over there. I didn't see him over there. Gosh. Well, you should have gone back to him. I'd have helped him. That's like the accent of where I lived. And that's very much, not really thought of as an accent. And people can speak more or less in a standard accent as well, depending on what the occasion is, I would say, which is interesting. When I was in England, I also learned from a friend of mine from Southern England that he can speak with more of a standard received pronunciation of British if he wants to be treated really well in customer service. But if he's talking with his mates down the street, he might use a much more, a stronger Southern accent. So it's interesting. So is there only one standard accent in American English? Do they speak the same in each of the places? No, they don't. They speak differently in the Northeast. They speak differently, in the South. They speak differently in the West, and in different parts in each of those. However, there is a standard that sounds more or less the same, which people cannot really guess where you're from if you speak in the standard. You might give it away in some of your vocabulary. However, there is more or less a standard. And what is the most correct of all? Which area? It's not a bad area. It's about you. The most correct is communicate with Nate. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, there is no best accent, guys. There is no best. An accent is, society makes it as a sign of how much education someone has, almost, sometimes. And although it shouldn't be that way, I think sometimes some people try to judge others based on that. And it's quite a pity because it's detrimental to the different dialects. And dialects are what make languages interesting. I mean, imagine life without the beautiful New York City accent.
Where'd you get this? Your mother found this behind your drawer.
It's money that I've been saving, Dad.
$600 you've been saving? What'd you become, a brain surgeon overnight, son?
Come on, Bob, get over here. I'm walking here across the street. Johnny's grabbing me across, and he grabs me a coffee, and he tells me, come on, Bob. Yeah, tell me below how terrible that was. I've only visited New York twice in my life. Now that is very far away. If you don't realize how big the United States is, it's extremely far away. It's days of driving to the east from us. And yeah, so it's like another world. It's interesting, guys, little cultural note. It's interesting that in Utah, life is a lot more laid back. When I went to New York City, it was like boom, 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 boom. Everybody's in a hurry, and it's just the pace is very different. I remember going to the pizza shop and the guy's like, "What do you want?" And I was just like, "Whoa, Utah, it's like they're just not in such a hurry." So I like that. It is so interesting though how each place is just so incredibly different. But anyway, getting back to the standard, don't worry about what your accent is. Just honestly, which accent do you want to learn? Just try to copy the accent that you like the best. If you're watching this channel, you're welcome to copy mine. I won't mind. I won't complain. I hope each of us, including you that's listening to this, I hope you like your own accent, because you should. I think we all have at least somewhat of an accent when we speak another language. I try to always speak as close as I can to the local accent, but you're not always going to be perfect. There's going to be some words when you might not say something totally perfectly, but that's fine. You're saying it the way you say it, and that is beautiful. Well, guys, I'm going to sign out for now, but thank you for joining Communicate with Nate. I'm going to be very excited to bring more content to you guys, and just to, I have a passion. I hope you guys feel that passion as well as we go on our journey of learning the English language and more about it. All right, you guys, anyway, like and subscribe if you like these videos. If you want me to continue, please like and subscribe. And tell me below what your name is. What is your accent? How do you feel about yours? Tell me all about it. I would love to hear it. I will read it as many as I can. Thank you. Bye-bye.